U.S. Secretary of Education Cardona made it clear that students belong in the classroom, and he's working to make sure that happens as the country braces for the winter COVID surge. Cardona was in Louisiana today as part of the nationwide tour to address the education gaps brought on by the pandemic. BNC's Jameet Price has more from New Orleans on his visit.
During Secretary Cardona's visit, he heard from students and parents on the educational challenges they face during this pandemic. We know those challenges only widen the gaps for Black and brown children, and those impacts are still felt today. U.S. Secretary of Education Cardona addressing concerns about in-person learning as the country braces for a possible COVID winter surge.
My expectations are very clear. With what we know now, schools should be open 5 days a week, full-time for our students. They deserve nothing less. They've suffered enough.
Cardona was in Louisiana Friday to find out what type of impact the pandemic is having on all children.
Hi, Taylor.
He started with the youngest learners at Wilcox Academy Early Learning Center.
You gonna get toys?
And then he listened as parents of elementary and high school students described a shift in learning and a decline in grades during the virtual school year.
I see my son falling. Like, again, his grade has started really diminishing. Like, he went from an A to a D within days. So when the schools opened back up, I was like, first wave, they're going back in.
These are all problems education advocates say widen the learning gap for Black and brown children. U.S. Congressman Carter, who joined the education tour, says the pandemic highlighted disparities we've known existed.
The disparities that exist among children of Black and brown versus white kids who have other means and other access, where many of our community has been left behind because of the vestiges of racism, the vestiges of inequality. We have a chance to fix that.
We must focus on equity. We must be unapologetic about it. And with the American Rescue Plan funds, $130 billion across the country, the focus is on equity, stakeholder engagement, to make sure that we're listening to our parents like we did today, so that our children, all children, including our Black children, have an opportunity to thrive in schools.
Both parents and educators say most of the success is determined by keeping school doors open. NOLA Public Schools is taking measures to make sure that continues. The school district announced the COVID-19 vaccine will be added to the list of required immunizations for all children 5 years old and up by February 1st.
Our children need to be in school, and in order for them to be in school, they've got to be vaccinated.
New Orleans has expanded its indoor vaccine mandate to include children 5 years old and up. Those who are eligible to receive a COVID vaccine must show proof of at least one COVID dose starting January 3rd to enter restaurants and other venues that require proof of vaccination. In New Orleans, I'm Jameet Price for BNC.